Is there a far-right takeover of mixed martial arts? Well, if you listen to the legacy media, the answer is a resounding yes. We're going to see what's behind the latest Patriot scare inside the MMA, and we're going to see precisely what's going on within the MMA and why patriots around the world have truly found it to be their new sports home. Many of you may be familiar with the MMA superstar Holly Holm, a.k.a. the Preacher's Daughter. She used her recent victory as a platform to call attention to the horrific sexualization of children that we've seen of late. Take a look.
Something that's been on my heart, and I feel like I have the platform to say it. I need to say it. I just feel it's really sad, all the sexualization of our children right now, and we need to protect them, whatever that may be. Like, protect the children, please. Do anything we can to help.
At the press conference after the fight, she expanded on what she said there.
Used your post-fight speech to use a platform, I believe, to sort of speak out against the sexualization of children. I'm curious if you wanted to use your platform again now to sort of go into further detail.
You know, there's a lot of things. I don't ever want to be, I'm not like a real political person. I don't like to put that stuff on any of my social media or because I think there's just, but there's also just right and wrong, and I feel like everybody should be on the same side on that. I don't feel like that has anything to do with left side, right side, or anything like that. I feel like everybody should be wanting to protect our children, and there's stuff that is, there's a lot of child trafficking, and I mean that's like the extreme part, but there's a lot of levels to it. You just see it almost being more accepted, and I think that's really sad. So I just feel like we should all do what we can. I know it's like a lot of people don't even know what to do, but if I can at least have a voice on it, then that's something I can speak out on it. And it's just to get everybody together to protect children. It's childhood really affects people in their long-term life too. I mean, I have friends that are adults, and their biggest thing that kind of is this shadow, kind of that dark space in them is being sexualized when they were young. And I just feel like it's almost getting accepted.
Now, that was brilliant. I have to say, obviously protecting children is pre-political. If protecting children were political, then that would mean you would have another political side, an insane, satanic political party that would want... Oh, dang. Well, there you go then. Now, God bless Holly Holm for standing up to a sports media that's generally radically woke and left-wing, but she's not alone. MMA superstar Conor McGregor is calling for every school in the nation to be provided with armed protection. McGregor responded to the horrific killing of 6 people at a Christian school, including 3 9-year-old children, by taking to Twitter and advocating armed guards at every school. This, of course, drives the left insane when they hear that the solution is more guns, not less. And this isn't the first time that McGregor freaked out the legacy media. A few years back, he tweeted out what he thought about President Trump, saying, quote, "Phenomenal president, quite possibly the USA's greatest of all time. Most certainly one of them anyway, as he sits atop the shoulders of many amazing giants that came before him. No easy feat. Early stages of term also incredible." And it seems that comments like that are part of what's sending the media into absolute hysterics. As it turns out, the legacy media is beginning to more and more call out the MMA for being overrun by what they call far right or the radical right. That's right. There's just a widespread panic all over the legacy media that mixed martial arts has become inundated with radical right forces. And this goes way beyond the UFC's president Dana White's open support of President Trump. Even some of the more notable MMA training gyms have actually become sites for openly pro-Trump, pro-America First rallies. Now, again, I think we should know, whenever the Oscars or the Grammys or most recently the Country Music Television Awards, whenever they feature pro-drag queen and transgender propaganda, that's perfectly fine. The legacy media doesn't bat an eye. And of course, that's because the legacy media is the glue, the social imaginary glue that holds a liberal, woke, globalist world order together. So those award ceremonies are simply acting in conformity with the radical left ideology that media corporations deliberately shove down our throats. But when MMA training centers decide to do the exact same thing but go the other way, politically speaking, well, then that's a very serious and concerning development that needs to be looked into. And it's not just Trump. UFC fighters came out in force in support for Ron DeSantis in his astonishingly successful re-election campaign. In fact, the ultra-left British Guardian is reporting on a massive trend of the hysterical white supremacists forming fight clubs and MMA promotions as recruiting tools to their cause. And it's working. It's working overwhelmingly. Now, leaving aside all this hysteric verbiage like white supremacists and far right, clearly MMA, mixed martial arts, is appealing to patriot and populist sentiments. But why? What's particular about MMA that's attracting people who love faith, family, and freedom? Well, we're going to answer precisely that. But first, a huge thanks to all of you for your wonderful feedback and ideas for my new guidebook on how to escape the Great Reset. Thousands of you reached out sharing what you want to see addressed in this guidebook. And I believe this book is more necessary now than ever. My team and I are reading through all of your comments, your emails, your messages, and it's clear that patriots like you all over the world are rejecting globalism in full force and have found creative ways to live a life of faith, family, and freedom apart from our ruling elite's agendas. I'm in the final stages of drafting this guidebook, and I know you and your family will greatly benefit from these resources. I'm also including a list of the news sites I personally get my news from so you can feel optimistic every day with the truth. If you want a copy of this guidebook, comment below or just email me at steve@turleytalks.com, and I'll update you soon about when it'll be released. Can't wait for that. It's long been recognized that fighting competitions are far more applicable to life than other sports, such as golfing, for example. I mean, we could all relate to expressions such as, I'm just getting beaten up by everyone, or man, you were saved by the bell, or, I could have been a contender. These are all motifs and expressions that capture profoundly how we're called to respond to the hits we take in life. And of course, there are plenty of those, aren't there? This is one of the reasons why movies like Rocky or Cinderella Man capture the populist ethos so beautifully. Fighting is the sport of every man. It's the sport of the playground, the back alley, the pub. It's the only sport where the underdog always has a chance, just one chance, to knock the undisputed champion in the chin and watch him fall. Now, while boxing used to be the default sport of the populace, its professional evolution into pay-per-view glitz and glamour has largely removed boxing from its populist origins. And I think this is one of the reasons that MMA, mixed martial arts, has become even more popular than boxing. MMA gets back to what in many respects is the purest sport of them all. Two opponents standing toe-to-toe, and the two go at it until only one remains standing, either by decision or by knockout. Moreover, MMA fighters are some of the most accessible and affable athletes in competition today. There's an extraordinary camaraderie that exists amongst them. Most of them are devout Christians who give glory to God in their wins or losses. They open up their lives and training to their fans via social media like very few other professional sports figures do today. MMA fighters really are the athletic cream of the crop of their respective neighborhoods and communities, and they bring that communal ethos to bear on their sports competition. This is why sports commentators have noted that MMA fighters seem to have replaced boxers as the new populist heroes. So all this is to say that there's no reason to try to find a bunch of far-right boogeymen behind MMA's nationalist populist appeal. The very nature and culture of the sport lends itself to the masses, and they're responding to the shocking fright of our ruling elite. And they're all rising up together. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on the EU panicking over the nationalist right taking over Finland. You're not going to want to miss that, so make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.